Hello. First of all, thanks for watching. Today I'm going to be going over how I approached my redesign for this week's Overwatch roulette. I got Winston, which is a really cool one, but I've never done creature stuff or electrical based things before, so I ended up having to go source my own sort of resources for this, as you saw at the start there. One thing I'd like to add, any sound designers watching this, if you have any ways or approaches you would have done this differently to me, please don't be afraid to comment, because I mean the reason I'm doing this, or we're doing this channel, is to sort of learn and get better. So please let us know if this is a bad way to do it, basically. But yeah, I'm going to start off with the roar because I think this turned out pretty sweet. So here's all the layers by themselves. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this, to be honest. This is the first thing I started on this redesign because I thought it would be the most important. The only Foley trick I know for creature stuff is taking the key over some corrugated cardboard, which sounds like this. Obviously that's pitched down quite a lot. Just pitched down, I've sort of boosted the volume and just taken out the highs. But yeah, it sounds pretty cool. This is more of a snarl like you'd use for a big cat or something. But it was a good starting point. So yeah, that's where I started. My next go-to thing was to just pitch down my own voice. As you can tell, I've got quite a high voice, so it took a lot of pitching down. And it kind of just... Yeah, I mean, like the scream itself is very sharp, so you can't get that long, like a long drawn-out scream. And this just ended up sounding really stupid. And ended up, as you can see, by them not being colored. I just removed them from the thing. And then I looked for something that's a bit more animalistic. I had a bunch of animal stuff in the library here, and I ended up finding this horse, which just sounds insane. I don't think I even pitched that down. That's just what it sounds like. I've sort of smooshed bits together to sort of fit the time of this, but yeah, that it started to build it up. But really what I was missing was the sort of gritty vocal texture of this guy, because if you look at his scream, I mean, he's really going for it. I eventually just found a recording I had that I did ages ago where I was just pulling around a wooden chair like on concrete. So a lot of cool just scrapey noises. I think I found, or I used this. Because to me that just sounds like a tortured animal. So yeah, I really like this, so I used it about 4 times. And this is just the normal pitch with some of the low frequencies removed. Yeah. I mean, when you listen to it, it is just the sound of something being scraped, a chair being scraped. But altogether, it provides a really cool quality. So yeah, I just pitched it down 4 times. So I'll just go through them quickly. And then finally this boy. Altogether, they sound like this. Again, I mean, when you hear it just like that, it just sounds like a but with the rest of everything, I think it sounds pretty cool. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Moving on. So I've never done electric stuff before. Corey, he's part of this. He's a fellow sound dad. He's really good at this. I think he uses tinfoil a lot. Which he suggested I try. I did, and I don't know what he does to the tinfoil, but I couldn't get it sounding like he does. So like you saw at the start, primarily this is all just sellotape. So yeah, the quality I was going for, I don't know. I think the best lightning is in Star Wars, the Emperor Palpatine lightning. It's just really like squeaky and kind of terrifying. So that's kind of what I was trying. I didn't get that, but what I did get, I was fairly happy with. So here's all the electric stuff I got. So this is all really high frequency. It doesn't sound very nice by itself. Primarily this is because the roar just takes up so much of the frequency range, and the more punchy I tried to make this, the less punchy this sounded, and ultimately his roar is more important. So yeah, this is always really sort of tinny, not very pleasant to listen to by itself. I'll go through a couple layers. I mean, it's all basically the same. So we've got some of the water in the pan, like a sort of initial explosion, and then just some sellotape. Also use the wicker washing basket. I just sort of crumpled around, and you get a really nice, like, clicky, staticky discharge type thing. Most of these are just the raw recordings. I've grouped them all up into one track here where I compress it, and I think the main thing that sells it for me is using chorus. I just sort of, I don't know, I sort of doubles the sound up really nice and close, and you end up getting that little sort of humming frequency, which you'd get in a sort of an electrical appliance. So yeah, I'm just applying that to everything on here. If I take it off, I guess it's quite subtle, but I think it adds something. I've also got a chopper here, so we're just flicking between sort of 1 and 0 volume really quickly. I've got a mono. If I whap it up, you can really hear it. I've got it sort of low in the mix, just to emphasize the crackliness of everything on this. But no, I think I was quite happy with this turned out. I've just sort of stretched it as well. This is a really cool free plugin that I'd recommend getting. Sort of just widens the image, and you get a lot of cool visual information too. This looks bad, but don't worry, it's all going through a compressor. But yeah, I want to make this as wide as possible, so it's like right in your ears. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty happy with that. I'm not going to go through everything because I mean it is literally just the sound of me going, pulling tape up. As you can see, I spent quite a lot of time. I've got a lot of them. Masking tape turned out to be the best. But yeah, any other better ways or cool ways to get electricity, please let me know, because yeah, it's an area that I'm not that clued up on. Okay, lastly, or second lastly, we've got the jump sound. So yeah, I sort of noticed straight away that he slams his knuckles down, and I thought that'd be a really cool time to emphasize his weight. So I'm using, this is kind of cheating, I'm using a sound I made for a different redesign, which I'll maybe just pop here. And I just pitched it way down, and I mean it's not really the same sound, to be fair on myself, but it was just a quick way to get the sort of punchy low end thing. Sounds like a kick drum basically, and I don't think there's any kick drums in here for once, which is cool. So yeah, that's just to emphasize the guy's weight. I've sort of added a little metal hit and some gravel, which I've made, which I panned like really far to the left and right. The gravel, I guess I was trying to make it sound like the ground around you was shaking when this guy hit the ground, and there's a little metal to sort of indicate his hand material there. And you can't really hear. What else have we got? Machine. Okay, so yeah, he's wearing sort of like a techie type thing, so I thought some sort of electrical thing would be cool, and it turned out to be quite nice as a layer. If you watch my Reinhardt breakdown, it's the same sound. I really like that sound. I've got a loop of a canvas that I just dragged about for ages a while ago. It's a really short loop. I've just got a volume motivation as his sort of hands sort of push off the ground as he jumps. Oh yes, cool. So at my work at 4J, we have the coolest sounding hand dryers in the bathroom. Just show you how this sounds. They have the coolest tails. I think that's so cool. So I just reversed that. Put some EQ on it. Quite a dramatic EQ. And a chopper, and by itself sounds like this. And you can see the lows here coming up. And you get this really crazy ass anime sound. With the highs here. Oh yeah, it's a chopper. That worked really nice. And we've got the classic train toilet. Sort of like piston launch or whatever to emphasize this thing. And I couldn't be bothered doing a full layered roar again, so I just took that same horse clip and chucked it here. That's like a grunt for him jumping. You can't really hear it, but it is there. And what's this? Okay. So yeah, it's a machine sound, I guess, that's transformed. Oh, I found this recently, and it's very, very cool. I'm not exactly sure what it does, but makes things sound cool. Okay, so yeah, moving on. This is where I got a bit lazy. To be honest, I got Ghost of Tsushima this week, and this was half done, and I had the end of this, and I just didn't know what to do, so I was like, I'm just gonna use some library sounds. So the majority of these are cinematic sounds, which are all free. It's from the Boom library, which I'd recommend you getting. So yeah, well, actually no. The first one is just the machine. One of my machines that I've recorded for the wind up. Just a charging sound. I've got my sine wave that I always use. Oh yeah, this is so yeah, again, just to emphasize the weight when he jumps. Phone users won't be able to hear that. So this is one of the library sounds. I mean, I could have made this, but I was, again, kind of lazy. I'm sure some people have had the same thing when they're just kind of done with something, and unfortunately that was this. But yeah, I think this sort of gave a nice cinematic quality to the jump, as well as gave you some sort of rocket sounds as well. And finally, I didn't know where to end this because, I mean, for example, the whole thing is a really big charge up that essentially goes nowhere. It just stops on its face there. So you miss like the discharge of this big charge. So for the longest time, I had no idea what to stick there, and I just stuck the cinematic sound in because I don't know it fit, and it finished the video, which I was chuffed with. But no, again, this was really fun. I learned quite a few things about some Foley stuff. If anyone else has any tips, please let me know and comment. But no, thanks for listening. Cheers.